So which of these three characters has the ability to eat as much sweets as she wants without getting fat? According to PC98 canon, one of the powers given by the Hakure Yin-Yang orbs to Reimu is the ability to eat sweets without getting fat. Perfect Cherry Blossom is one of the celebrated Touhou games mostly because it's the only one to get the closest thing to resemble a full anime treatment. You still owe me big time, Manfuku Jinja. The story revolves around the delay of spring. Snow still covers the realm of Gensokyo when in fact it's supposed to be spring. Reimu, Marisa, and, now playing for the good guys, Sakuya set out to find the culprit and restore spring into the land. After which, the flowers bloom, the snow melts, and everything lives happily ever after. Or do they? Now the Hakure border is threatened and the heroes must go and face this great threat. Out of all the Touhou games, this has to be the hardest one of them all. And the spiritual realm gives little to no assistance at all. Yes, at times it saves your precious little hitbox. Sometimes it's not there when you're really counting on. Another proof it's the hardest Touhou game ever is that it's the only game to officially have a Phantasm stage. But on the plus side, the music is great. Soulmaker Bokoresti, Ghostly Band Phantom Ensemble, and Necrophantasia are among the few that are very memorable and a favorite among players and cover artists alike. Characters are some of the best there is, including the return of Alice Margatroyd, Yomo Konpaku, Yuyuko Saigyoji, Chen, Ran, and Yukari! I'm so gonna get flamed hard for not putting this on number 1. Okay, the game that gets the number 4 spot is Imperishable Night. Hear me out guys, hear me out. Don't get me wrong, Imperishable Night is a great game. The storyline is about the sudden warping of the moon and now 4 elite teams must go in to investigate. It's rather difficult with the whole time point system which forces you to not rely on focus bar until the final stage. Now to be fair, it's a necessary feature, both in storyline and in gameplay terms. This is also the only Touhou game to have a version available for the iOS. You can download Fantasy Night for free in the App Store. It also has the most expanded lore in Touhou canon. Printworks like Inaba of the Moon and Inaba of the Earth, Gaijin Lunatic Renegade, and my favorite, Silent Sinner in Blue, expand the story both before and after the events of the game. The characters are some of the most awesome out there, including Erin, Moko, Kaine, and of course, Regal Nightbug. What? Regal can be awesome? Take a route at the dojin amidst the fireflies if you don't believe me. Ten Desires is one of those games where Zone finally gives the audience what they want. They want a game with a more balanced difficulty? Check. They want more debut characters? Double check. They want the glorious return of Sakuya and Mima? Well, no check, but the game is still good. The story goes that the spirits wander around Gensokyo and the heroes must investigate the darker plot behind the collection of divine spirits. The gameplay forces players to confront their fears of going to the top of the screen because extra lives and bombs will not be going down, which is really quite an interesting touch to be honest. The music is just phenomenal, my favorite tracks being Ghost League and Old One Shen. Like I said before, the game's difficulty is quite balanced, though it's tipped to the rather easy side. It may not feature the return of Mima or Sakuya, but it does bring Yomo back as a role of playable. The Divine Spirit team may be unpopular now, but the characters like Yoshika, Seiga Kaku, and Mononobe no Futo are steadily becoming popular. Wait, what is becoming popular?
I'm on a boat! I'm on a boat! Everybody look at me cause I'm sailing on a boat!
Oh. Immaterial Missing Power was the first game to introduce Touhou into the fighting genre. Now you can perform hand-to-hand combat with your favorite characters, and it also introduces the carefree character known as Suika Ibuki. Now it may be the first Touhou fighting game made, but let's face it, the first isn't necessarily the best. The spell card system is out of whack, the controls are hard to get a grip on, performing a special attack is way harder than you think it would be, and there's no limiter to save your sorry hitbox. Then came Scarlet Weather Rhapsody. It debuts Tenshi Hinanawi and Iko Nagai. The controls have been upgraded, but still has a few kinks in it. The attacks are now card-based, making it, let's say, a train to mow down enemies easier. It's an improvement, but not perfect. Which brings us to... Unthinkable Natural Law provides epic fights that has once only imaginable. With the addition of more spell cards and with Utsuho and Suwako joining in on the fun, the experience just received a massive upgrade. The story deals with a large entity roaming around Gensokyo, and who would be the ones to save the day this time? Oh my deity, we are so dead. I guess this brings the first problem in UNL. The lack of playables in story mode. There are only 3 characters you can play as, unlike in SWR and IAM, where every character can be played in story mode. Also, no new character debuts in this game. Well, unless you count the Goliath and that weird catfish thing used as a final boss, no one new appeared in this game. The music is spectacular, with various remixes of other Touhou songs, with some used as Scarlet Weather Rhapsody as well. The original music, including Unknown End's Unfound Adventure and Arhiso Tensoku, are just some of the most awesome music from the franchise. The main reason it's this high on this list is the game's aesthetics. The way you connect attacks into combos with devastating damages goes with an awesome effect. Now if it's so great, why isn't it number 1? Well, to be honest, the fighters are just spin-offs. It's not what Touhou really is. Touhou is a top-down shooter, and that's what it's supposed to be. For a game to be number 1, it has to capture the true spirit of Touhou and have a few choice components. But before that, let's do a recap on the great masterpieces ZUN has done so far. Touhou 12.5, double spoiler. Touhou 12, undefined fantastic object. Touhou 6, embodiment of Scarlet Devil. Touhou 9, Phantasmagoria Flower View. Touhou 12.8, Great Fairy Wars. Touhou 7, Perfect Cherry Blossom. Touhou 8, Imperishable Night. Touhou 13, 10 Desires. And Touhou 12.3, Unthinkable Natural Law. Imperishable Night had an expanded and well-defined lore. Great Fairy Wars provided something new. Perfect Cherry Blossom had phenomenal music. Embodiment of Scarlet Devil had memorable characters. Unthinkable Natural Law evolved with time. 10 Desires had a balanced difficulty. For a game to be number 1, it has to have all these traits along with the true spirit of what Touhou is. The only game I see fit for number 1, and I am talking, of course, about subterranean animism. The story is about the appearance of a geyser in the Hakore Shrine. Now, this may be a good thing at first, but then earth spirits start to ascend from the geyser and start harming the yokai. To preserve the balance of Gensokyo, our heroes must venture down into the underground to find the source of the spirits. Some say that this is by far the hardest Touhou game, when in fact it's actually the most balanced. It poses a great challenge, but not hair-pulling difficult. It's neither lax nor unforgiving. Now what does this game have new in store? Aside from its infamous Stage 4 that goes Psycho Mantis at you, Subterranean Animism lets you have up to 8 power levels, toggle shock types, warp to the other side of the screen, and great for those with going to the top of the screenophobia, auto-collect, only available in selected player partner combos. The characters are just some of the best. From start to end, all you see are new faces. From stage 1 mid-boss to the end boss. Characters like Yamame Kurodani, Farsi Mizuhashi, Yuki Oshiguma, the Komeiji sisters Satori and Koichi, Rin Kaebil, and Gensokyo's official supervillain, Utsuhore Yuji. The music are really nothing but the best, which covers the entire spectrum. From the relaxing dark blowhole, to the melancholic green-eyed jealousy, to the festive walking the streets of former hell, to the carefree corpse voyage with good cheer, to the scary Satori maiden third eye, to the threatening Heartman's Joker girl, and to the epic solar sect of mystic wisdom, nuclear fusion. The lore was expanded by some chapters of While It Horned Hermit and was in fact referenced by Oriental and Sacred Place. The story is nice, the music is fantastic, the characters are memorable, the difficulty is perfect, and it has the spirit of Touhou within its core. Subterranean Animism is, and for now, always will be, the greatest Touhou game ever made. I'm the Rampaging Bonecrusher. Now if you excuse me, time for me to play one more round of SA.
But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.